3 objectives.
Good.
We are alive again.
Praise the Lord.
Oh, my body's hurting. Gotta call the doc.
Hurting for certain.
So we're through with this part of Notion. Is the Dream 100 course on Notion? Do we stay in Notion then? Or is there another place to go for that?
The Dream 100 course is getting linked to AOI sessions.
AOI sessions, thank you.
I'll put it there.
All right.
Hey, Carmen, I'm gonna need you to log into this.
AOI sessions. Redirect. AOI sessions.
Motion.
Deborah, do you need cream on for the thing?
No, I think I'm okay. I'm going home. What are we gonna watch then?
AOI sessions.
It's the Dream 100, Deborah.
Carmen, are you logging into the course?
What exactly are we doing right now?
We are logging into the session since we finished the 3. We got our 3 monthly actions.
Okay.
Yeah, because in whatever on Wednesday when we saw that we weren't able to finish the monthly OKRs, we decided we were going to schedule to do that for the first portion. Just needed like 20 minutes or so, and the last portion of the Pioneer session we would go through the course.
Okay. For some reason, you guys are breaking up, and I didn't hear everything. So the 3 are in a daylight videos, record 10 videos from the webinar testimony. And Deborah will move forward with the Dream 100 as measured by completing every assignment in the Dream 100 course.
This is Dream 100 notes.
Yes. You see the course right there?
Is that the right one?
Tina's want to make sure she's got it down right for the notes.
Carmen, do you see the course?
Audiobook, podcast group, challenge.
The Dream 100 course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I don't know what it was the as measured by, Tina?
The what?
The as measured by?
As measured by completing every assignment in the Dream 100 course.
Yeah.
Okay, so because there's a number 2 at market the DFG value ladder.
No. That's a monthly action. Everything under market that is all about the Dream 100. So we should just we should replace it.
Just replace this.
You just copy and paste the Dream 100 statement and make that number 2.
Okay.
Replace
All right. Thank you.
it. You're welcome. I'm trying to log into this thing. mean, Mom, do you know how to log into this stuff?
The course? What do you want to log into?
The D100 course. You don't need mine. Just click the button.
Alright.
Did you go to AOI sessions?
Is that on Notion?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, once you go to the messenger chat, AOI sessions, and you click the Notion link. Is that what you meant, Mom?
Oh no.
Well, you know that AOI sessions is only on Messenger.
No, I thought you made a thing on Notion.
Nope, there's nothing on Notion for it.
Sorry.
How do we log into this thing? I always have like the most challenging time logging into this. The one time that I thought I actually got it.
Can't you just like click on that? Is it mastermind.com? Dream 100 challenge. How many days is that? 100? This is 100-day challenge? No.
No. Did you get it, Kamran? Kamran, I think I got it. Here. I think I got it. I'm gonna update it on Notion.
Notion.
Alright, try that link. It worked! It worked! It really, really works!
What's the big ideas? The big ideas. That's Notion. Did you send it in AOI?
AOI Sessions has a link to Notion, and on Notion it has a page.
Oh, I see.
And on Notion it has a link to the course. Did you get it now, Kamran?
Password isn't working.
Oh,
Is this it right here?
I'll tell you why. Yeah, that's it, man. This is why it's not working. Let's do this. Let's try this again. Kamran, right now. Yeah, they gave me a weird password. I'm glad we're getting this figured out.
Wow, there it is.
I went back out and came back in, but do I need to be logged into it here on my computer if it's there?
What did you go in and out of?
I went back to Messenger, clicked again because they brought up that page with the Dream 100 notes.
Yeah.
So I went back out and went back to Messenger, refreshed, and then clicked on it again. But it takes me back to the same page, Dream 100 notes.
Yes. So you scroll down where it says Dream 100 course by Dana Derricks.
Got it? And click on that. Okay. So, are we all creating a different account?
No, we can't create a different account.
We can put that in.
So are we all supposed to be logging into
Sure,
it on our
yeah.
computer?
That'd be great, huh? Thank you. Thanks for thinking about that. No, just Kamran.
Okay.
So when he's ready, we're ready.
Okay.
We are ready.
Okay. So on Discord, are they going to hear that? When you hit play?
Oh man. Okay, I gotta switch the mic.
Okay. And then that's going to... Oh.
Okay, we're ready.
Ready when you are.
We're gonna watch the welcome.
Sure.
Make sure.
Suppose so.
Okay.
Alright, so before we dive full into this, I do want to just kind of lay out this like foundation for what you're about to experience and just give you some of the cold hard truths. So you may be wondering at this moment, why does Dana have weird glasses on? So long story short, I'm wearing them not because I don't have good vision. I have good vision. I actually don't need glasses, but they help with blocking out certain types of light. So I tell myself that they're helping me, and in my mind they are. So whether it's placebo effect or it's real, I don't care. It helps me be more productive, so that's why I wear them. So whatever you can do to make yourself more productive, let's just do it. So anyway, the point of this whole entire thing is quite simple. It's to help you finally get the success that you've always wanted. Like, you've been so close, I know. How do I know? Because I've been there, right? I've been doing this for over a decade. Like, you don't just wake up and just know what I know, right? You get there from doing a lot of it, making a lot of mistakes, and all that craziness. So anyway, what I'm about to share with you is going to help you get this. Oop, I'd be a really bad weatherman. This, it'll get you one of those. It maybe won't give you one of those. So that's 2 Common Club award for those that you that don't know. That's for making $1 million online through a funnel. This is Inner Circle Member of the Year through Russell Brunson's Inner Circle, and then this is me, a caricature that Russell got for me of me holding my book. So anyway, I want you to have all that stuff plus a whole heck of a lot more. So the first thing is this. I'm just gonna hit you straight with this, okay? You have to stop buying crap. Like, you literally right now need to stop buying crap. Okay, so one of my best buds, Myron Golden, had an awesome saying. He said that he takes people off the market, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm literally taking you off the market. You don't need to buy other stuff. That's it. You should feel such a relief right now in this very second that you don't have to buy any more crap. Okay? Eventually, maybe down the road, yeah, but like right now, your endless search is over. Okay? I have everything you need. You just need to watch all this stuff, take all the assets I'm giving you, all of the tools, and go use them. Okay? That's it. It's that freaking simple. So, one of the reasons I'm like emphatic about that, and I'm starting with this, is because I went through 6 years of struggling. Like literally 6 years of like, am I gonna be able to pay the bills this month? And it all like literally six years of that. And it was always like this. And even before that, it was worse. It was like, I can remember one of the defining moments in my life. I was in college. I was like 20, 21. I had stopped playing football, which was my life to that point. I was an entrepreneur too, but football, right? And then I was in college and had this night class. It was 4 hours long, which is like awful. And anyway, I get out of it. I have nothing to eat. I'm so hungry. I head over to Taco Bell. I was that desperate, right? And remember, I ordered some food, and it was $6.12. I'll never forget this. I swiped my card, and the cashier looked at me and they said, "Oh, it didn't go through." I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's try it again." So I swiped it again. Same thing. Said it's declined. And she kind of, under her breath, said, like, it says insufficient funds. And it gives me chills to this day. I'll never forget that moment. Like, $6.12. Can't even feed myself, and I just remember how like embarrassing that was. And I changed my life after that. I stopped this endless stupid goose chase, right? And although for the next 6 years I did have some of these, I had a lot of these, and it was just like this for 6 years until finally I'm like, I have had enough. And here's why. So this is what happens. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, but so what I did was I'm just going to draw this for you, like literally draw, right? Like hand, paper, that kind of thing. So I literally was like going to try everything I could think of, right? To finally make good money and the living that I wanted, right? So I would try something, right? So let's say that it was like, back in the day, let's say it was like Google SEO or something, right? I'd try it, right? And then it didn't work. Okay, then I'm like, okay, crap, that sucked. I'd go look for the next thing, right? And the next thing would pop up, and I'd be like, well, that didn't work, but guess what? I learned some lessons, and just because that didn't work, then maybe that means that I probably this will work, right? That makes sense logically. Like, I tried that didn't work. Well, let me try this. Well, then what happens? That didn't work, right? Let's say that was Google Ads. I don't know, AdWords, right? And they're like, oh crap, that sucks. That didn't work. Right? Now what do? Then you're like, oh man, this is really crappy. Then you go find the next thing. Then you're like, oh, maybe I need to do YouTube, right? I need to run some YouTube stuff. And then you try that, and you're like, oh, these didn't work, but that means that this probably will, right? And guess what? That doesn't work. And then guess what happens? You keep looking and searching, you find something else. You're like, oh, there it is, Facebook ads, right? You're thinking to yourself, all right, I've tried pretty much everything else, right? I've tried Google SEO, I've tried Google AdWords, I've tried YouTube. No, I'm going to try Facebook ads, and they're going to work. You know why? Because I've tried everything else. And you try it. And that doesn't work. And then you're like, oh my gosh. Like, all right. There's got to be, like, I'm so close, right? I've been mining for that goal that must be like 1 or 2 picks away, right? And then you find the next thing, right? Let's say the next thing, let's say it's ManyChat or Chatbot, right? Whatever the next thing is. Then you try it. And guess what? It doesn't work either. And then you go like that. You're like, wow, this really sucks. Like, does anything work? Right? And the crazy thing is, like, I say this because I've done it, right? I'm not making this up. Like, I experienced this with myself. So you go through that whole thing, and pretty soon you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to just process of elimination. I'm going to try every single thing, and one thing has to work, right? Well, logically that would make sense, but the reality is no. You know why? Because every single day people are making a fortune off of creating the next shiny object for you, and then the next shiny thing, and then the next shiny thing, and then the next shiny thing, and then pretty soon the list never ends, right? So you could go for the rest of your life chasing these shiny objects, and you will never find the end, right? There's no end. You can't eliminate the entire thing because there is no end to it, right? So it took me 6 years to figure that out. And finally, I bought the last thing, and I'm like, there's no end to this. It's nothing but constant new stuff. You know why? Because it doesn't work. And I literally vowed at that very second, I will never invest in another shiny object ever again in my life. Ever. And I haven't. I'm doing okay for myself. And now you don't have to either. So you should have another, like, big, huge sigh of relief. Holy shit, Dana, does that mean I don't have to go through 300 more courses to find what works? Yeah. Holy crap, Dana, does that mean that I don't have to go spend more on new stuff? Yeah. I invest the only thing I'll ever invest in, right, is the stuff that is timeless. That means that it's here today. It worked 50 years ago. It works today. It'll work 50 years from now. Nothing else matters to me. I could care less. Okay? So, that's why I'm about to show you all the strategies that you need that have worked 50 years ago. They work today. They will work 50 years from now. Okay? That's it. That's all you need. Then you don't have to go process of eliminationing for 6 years, losing a ton of money, stress, and all that other stuff, going like this. We're going to get you to go like this forever. Okay? All right, cool. Yeah, so that leads to one of my final points here, and I'm just, again, setting the foundation. There's no necessarily like action items other than don't buy other stuff. You don't need it, okay? The other thing that I wish I would have figured out sooner is people, and if you're guilty of this, you are guilty of this. I'm so sorry to tell you, because I was guilty of it too, and then even still to this day, I can find myself being guilty of this kind of thing. So there's this concept of momentum as an entrepreneur, right? So my good friend Alex Charpin has built an entire brand around this concept. Momentum being like when something good happens as an entrepreneur, something else good is going to happen, and then something else good, and it's like this snowball. It keeps rolling and rolling and rolling, and you want to be in momentum, and you want to just keep moving forward, right? Like we have this insatiable desire to move forward. Now there's a problem. There's a huge problem. People, some people have convinced the majority of entrepreneurs that momentum is gained by the wrong thing. So basically they've tricked us into thinking that we are gathering momentum by doing the wrong thing. Okay, here's what I mean. Momentum as an entrepreneur is not. It is not. It feels like it, but it is not. It is not gained by consuming more content or scratching that entrepreneurial itch, okay, by watching videos, listening to podcasts, reading books, going to masterminds, calling people. Like, that's not momentum. It feels like it. It feels like it, right? Because like I can't sit still. Like I like love this stuff. Like I'm breathing, eating, sleeping. I want to just continue building. I want to make money for my family. I want to do like awesome things, philanthropy things. Tough word. But like I find myself sometimes even still to this day like confusing like forward momentum with just consuming stuff. Right? So you find yourself, you're like, you're working. No, I'm working. I'm browsing these videos. I'm watching this stuff. I'm listening to this. I'm reading that. I'm working. But what are you actually doing? Are you getting anything done? No. So I see all the time. It's so funny. I figured this out because actually not terribly long ago I figured this out, and it's the difference between somebody that's not making much money or as much as they want and somebody that's making a ton of money, right? Here's the difference. Somebody that's not making the money they want, their momentum is wrong. They're too busy consuming stuff. They're not actually, they think they're working and moving forward, but they're not. The people that are making a ton of money, they're not doing that. They know what their momentum is, like what they should or shouldn't be doing, right? They're not consuming that much stuff. Now, I'm not saying that consuming stuff isn't important. It is extremely important. But there has to be the right ratio. Okay, so here's how I discovered this. I recently, not too terribly long ago, I hosted a mastermind, a private mastermind. It's called the Goat Farm Mastermind. Yeah, it was crazy. And anyway, so we had that event. It was amazing. And then we ended up, there were so many people that wanted to come, couldn't come for whatever reason. So we ended up selling the recordings of the event. And it was so funny because I've never experienced this before, but it makes so much sense. Everybody wanted to know how long it was, like how many hours were the recordings. And they ended up, we cut them down. So it was just pretty much, if you haven't noticed, my stuff is not filler at all. So it was just straight to the point, nuggets, and it was 6 hours. Okay, so it ended up being 6 hours. What we noticed is, it's such a strange, cool thing, is about half of the people that asked about it said that 6 hours, that's not enough. What? This was a 3-day event. How can I only get 6 hours? Right? And they just wanted it to be as long as possible. They wanted it to be the longer the better. They felt like they were getting more value. And the other half of people said to us, 6 hours? I can't sift through 6 hours. And they wanted it to be as short as possible. You know the difference between the two? The longer, there was a correlation between the people that wanted it longer and how much money they were making. People that wanted shorter, how much money they were making. Can you guess who is who? So my point is this. The mentality is not, I need to consume more and more and more, right? It's like, imagine you're at a dang buffet. I love buffets, okay? But heck, you're going to be able to eat a whole lot more and get a different variety and get the stuff that you actually like by trying a little bit of each. Instead of just overloading every single plate and just sitting there, you're going to end up sick. And you're going to get nothing done, nothing out of it, right? So, point is this. You don't need more. Do not confuse forward momentum, you doing things and getting toward your goals, with consuming more and more and more and more and more. It's so easy to get lost in watching the next live video, listening to the next podcast, reading the next book. Those are great. You should do those. However, it should be more like 80-20. Okay? Yes, I understand Warren Buffett reads for 6 hours a day. But guess what? Warren Buffett doesn't go on the internet. If the guy would go on the internet, he could probably get as much information as he's getting in the 6 hours reading in probably like an hour. Right? But guess what? Warren Buffett wasn't reading for 6 hours when he was building his companies. Right? Now he just advises and watches from the top. You and I aren't there yet. We can't afford to do that. Okay? We can't. That's the reality. Right? So again, please don't confuse consuming information for forward momentum in your business. Right? So again, I look at it at 80-20. Okay? 80% of the time I'm doing, implementing. Okay? The secret to success for you is implementing. That means you go do. I do 10 things. 1 out of 10 is a success, typically. And I'm thrilled. The other 9, I could care less about. Cool. Thanks, other 9, for getting me to the one that mattered. Right? You need to implement. Okay? 80-20. 80% of your time implementing, 20% of your time studying. That's it. It could be more than that. It could be 100 to 0. If your money's not right, it should be 100 to 0. That's it. I know you're thinking, oh, I don't know, I don't have the stuff I need. Okay, that's why you're here. I'm giving you that. Okay? So, you're going to spend the next however long it takes you to go through my stuff, and that's it. You're going to shut all the other shit off, because has that other shit gotten you anything? Not really. Maybe some mixed results here and there. Maybe? No. This is the stuff you need. Okay? I can promise you that. All right. So, what you're going to get in the next... the rest of this whole shebang is you're getting the tools, okay? You're getting all of the scripts, all of the like just literally everything you need is in this course, okay? You don't need anything else. I'm so sorry to tell you that. And by now, I can imagine that you probably know that, and it makes sense now. Hey, don't feel bad. It took me 6 years to figure that out. And it took me buying a lot of stuff and wasting a lot of time, energy, and money to finally figure it out. But hell, I'm happy. I'm so grateful that it didn't take another 6 years. Okay, so that's what I'm here to do for you. I'm freeing you of the sort of misconception that you need to be learning, and just like just shoving all this information in your mind. No, you don't. You need to be implementing. You probably have enough information right now to make a ton of money. You just haven't implemented, right? Guess what? There's a direct correlation between how much money you make and how much stuff you sell. My good buddy Alex Hormozy, who's gone from literally broke, like couch surfing, literally, like legit, to probably in the next year and a half, 2 years, they will have a $100 million a year company. It's unfreaking believable. Guess what? This is what he says. The difference between small companies and giant ones is not much. The small ones maybe sell like 1 or 2 things a week. The big ones sell like 15, 20 a day. That's the only difference. Pretty cool, huh? So there's a correlation. If your money isn't right, answer this question. Okay? I'm so sorry. I was a football coach, so I'm going to give you some tough love right now. Answer this question. In the last 30 days, 60 days, how many times have you sold something? How many? Before you go thinking that it's evil to sell, happiest place on earth, Disneyland, they make more money per visitor, okay, per visitor than Las Vegas. Do you know what that means? That means that the happiest place on earth is squeezing every last dime out of every single person that walks through those doors. Walt said before he passed, he literally said, because he went down there, was looking at how it was progressing as they were building it, and he absolutely freaked out. He freaked out. Why? Because he said he wasn't offered an opportunity to buy stuff enough. He said, and he literally said, quote, I want there to be an opportunity to buy something every 10 steps. That means that somebody cannot walk more than 10 steps any direction without having a chance to buy something. Literally. Go to Disney. If you haven't been to Disney World, go down there. I have once as an adult, actually last year. I was so excited to go to see how much money I was going to waste because of this, and it's so true. Every 10 steps, there's somebody selling something. And it doesn't even seem that way or feel that way. Why? It's the happiest place on earth. Right? So don't feel bad. In the last 60 days, have you sold enough? Probably not. That's probably why you are where you are. And maybe, now in your defense, maybe you didn't have the right tools. That's okay. That's why you're here. I'm giving you those tools. But guess what? You have to freaking use them. Okay? Because every 10 steps, you're going to be selling something. Maybe not every 10, maybe every 20. But you're going to be selling. Okay? Because we're going to change your life and change your money situation. And then you know what's going to happen? You're going to be giving me a lot more of your money. Because I'm basically fronting you a bunch of stuff right now. I'm giving you the goods. It took me a decade of blood, sweat, tears to get. And you're going to go get a bunch of results. And then you're going to praise me and then my goats. And then you're going to give me a bunch more money because you're going to buy a bunch more stuff after. Okay? That's the deal we're making. All right? So anyway, you're going to get all the tools. That's helped me build a multi-6-figure business for years, and now multi-7-figure going on 8. Okay? And we're actually going to create your client acquisition system. That is what every business needs. And those that don't have it, they go away. And those that do, stay forever. So if you want to stay forever and you want to actually achieve all of everything you've ever wanted, keep watching. All right, so let's get into it. We'll see you on the next one.
Well, that was interesting. That was a welcome video, brother?
That was the welcome video.
That sounded like that was the first lesson. That didn't really sound like an introduction. But I guess he was framing the mindset to focus. And what are some things that we can extract from that?
Just buy his products. He's brought them to us, now we owe him.
One thing that I got out of that was at the beginning of the course, it's very important to let them know how important implementing is, and to communicate that implementation of the concepts is what's going to help create the transformation. It's not consuming the content or going through the live cast, going through the course. That's really not what they need. They need to implement the things that they learn.
Yeah, we should put that in our welcome video.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's what I got from that too. We got to put that in our welcome video. Why do you look confused, Kathy?
Maybe I don't understand the definition of implementing.
It means executing.
Put into practice.
Yes.
What do you mean by in our welcome video, putting it into practice?
So we're remixing.
What does that look like?
Well, what we're doing is we're remixing. We're seeing what he's doing in a successful course and seeing how we can remix and apply that, extract principles that fit in our context. What that looks like is just like in our welcome video, we say, hey, welcome aboard, glad you can join us. Here's the Dress from God program. we've got over here and here. It's like, this is where you sign up. Go through the steps down below. Look forward for you to be here. I don't know what I said in the welcome video, but what that would look like is, in addition to that, just say like, hey, you're here because, and remind them why they're here, and let them know that it's like what you want will only like take place when you implement the things that you learn. Your most important thing, your focus right here, after helping these, he like contrasts it. Contrast statements are powerful. He's like, the people who consume a lot and the people who are like, I don't have time to consume, these are the ones who are getting more of the result. In this case, it was finances. These are the ones who consumed a lot, they did not have the result. So it's just saying like, hey, those who are like evangelists, who are like moving forward, who are able to take their tools and share them with others, they're putting into practice what they're learning. Those who are just ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth, they're not putting in practice. It's like, you can go from course after course after course after course. You can watch a whole bunch of sermons. You can go to a bunch of programs and trainings. But if you don't implement the things that we're showing, like if there's ever been a program that you can put into practice, it's going to be this one, because it's geared to give you actionable steps. If you don't take the action, you're not going to get the transformation.
Okay, got it.
Because that's basically what his whole video was about.
Right. Thank you.
And then, as I'm like going through this again, I begin to realize, I'm like, wow, one of the reasons why I was so like driven to apply these things is because his welcome video. Is there a microphone not on Discord?
Oh, yeah, man.
Does it sound like someone left?
No, nobody left.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Sorry.
Tina, did you get all that?
Sure she did.
Was that on vMix also?
It was on vMix. No, it was recording on vMix. We had the voice on, but
Okay,
just
cool.
not on Discord.
Yeah. So Tina, can you give us a summary of the last like 3 minutes that I was sharing? Why are you so quiet? Sounds like she's doing something else. Okay.
Yeah.
So did that answer your question, Kathy?
Yeah, I did. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you asking. That was one thing that I like saw from that. What else did you guys get?
Ever learning and never, there's always so much, and it's like I came to that conclusion like 2 days ago. I was like, oh man, I should just take my head out of it. Because there's so much that you can't really even keep up with.
No, it's impossible. It's unrealistic expectation.
Yeah. So, I think I'm over that.
It's good. Oh, that's what I was saying. I think part of the reason why I was like so interested in applying the things that are in the Dream 100 is because he like really set that tone in the beginning, how you need to implement. That execution is the highest priority, applying these things and putting them into practice.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. I realize that the courses that don't have that emphasis in the beginning, it doesn't like prepare your mind or like cultivating the soil. It doesn't prepare for the seeds to take root in good soil when we don't make that emphasis. I really liked a lot of the different like persuasion methods he used to help get that point across. Like contrasting, for instance.
What about what he said about the beloved what's it called, Disney World or Disneyland or whatever? That's like crazy.
What stood out to you in that?
Just that they're set up to sell you something everywhere you turn around. Like, what did he say? 6 feet away from you or something?
10
10 feet.
10 steps.
That's crazy.
10 steps.
That's wild.
That is crazy.
And they do it off the back of the children.
What do you mean the back of the children?
It's for children's sake that you go to Disneyland.
Oh.
The children's what draws you over there. And so it's almost like, hey, you got a child? How about you? Come here. You know, you're using their children to do it.
Yeah, what that teaches me is that people love to buy. It reminds me like people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. And whereas like, I think the point that he was trying to bring up is that people are afraid to sell things, and they're uncomfortable persuading, but they don't realize that like one of the places where people like mark as like the highlight of their experience in life is an area where they're being sold something like nonstop every 10 feet. So that like that mindset of like don't sell, or like that selling is like bad, or people don't like that or something, it's not really true. People love to be presented with opportunities that meet their needs. And when you have a business, all true entrepreneurship and industry is solving a problem. Okay, a product or service, all of it should be solving a problem. And if you solve a problem well, we have a moral obligation to sell to people who have that problem, so we can solve it for them. Otherwise, they continue in suffering without us presenting the opportunity for them. People like having their problem solved.
They do.
Yeah, and that's what every single product. You can't name a product that doesn't solve a problem. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist. Why are you smiling, Kathy?
It's toilet paper came to mind.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. It's
And it's interesting you say that. It's true. Toilet paper is a good example because toilet paper solves a problem.
yeah.
And in the time of crisis, during this corona thing going on, people have been like afraid or reluctant to sell, and they're like, oh no, during this time of like mass confusion, then it isn't a good idea to sell something. But in reality, this is the best time to sell, because if we have a product or service that solves a problem in a crisis,
Yes.
then this is what we need to do. And especially during, like, there's certain problems that get magnified during the crisis, and if your product solves that problem, then you have a like even bigger obligation to share, like toilet paper.
Yeah.
The problem was magnified during the corona crisis.
That's it.
Still going on today.
Yeah. So we gotta think of what are some of the problems that we can solve during this time that people are looking for. They're really looking for direction.
Yeah.
We could record some videos on direction
Decisions.
Yeah, people need that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. If not now, when?
Yeah.
Not who, what? Not you, who?
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 What was something that stood out to you, Kathy?
I didn't take any notes on it.
Neither did I.
It was an interesting concept. I think I learned some things. I guess. See, I'm not one for listening to all those things like he talks about, you know? I'm one of those people, let's get to the point and let's do it. So, I like what he said about, you know, the difference between those two that want to spend all this time study, you know, make less money than those who learn it, do it, and get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's just, you know, that's the way I feel about it.
So we shared similar sentiments.
Yeah.
It's good. I think we got that nugget. Tina, are you there? Or Leah. So if I do a server mute on Leah, is she able to unmute herself?
I don't know.
I unmuted the server mute. Well, okay. I'll say too that if I'm not mistaken, I think the first portion it's kind of like trying to lay the groundwork. He's trying to prepare the soil so things make sense for us, like the first section or so, or two. And there's actually two parts of this course. There's this course that we have on the left, and when you get to the very last one, it opens over to like a whole another implementation side. So there's like a teaching side, there's an implementation side over there. They're both good. We've got a lot to go through. Alright, well, we can probably close with a word of prayer.
Question
Yes.
before you do. So he's the key person who's doing this Dream 100 program. He's doing the whole course. It was the Dream 100 that got him off the ground after 6 years of trial and error. That is why he's doing the presentation. This is more or less his baby.
Yeah, when he realized it, he's like, "Whoa, that's powerful!" And then he really dove into it, and he became real skillful at it. And so now he's sharing,
Yeah.
his baby.
When he learned the Dream 100, he like went full out, focused on it, and was sharing the things that he's learned.
Okay. See, I mean, I've never heard the Dream 100 until, what, a month ago when you guys started talking about it or so?
Yeah.
So this is foreign language to me, but
Well, you've heard of the concept, though.
the concept, yeah.
Just not by that term. And Russell Brunson says that his the foundation of his, like, everything they do at ClickFunnels has a foundation in the Dream 100. From like what we're doing with the offer hacking, or when we're trying to create an irresistible offer, when we're looking at the offers of other ministries and seeing what they're doing, that's Dream 100.
Yeah, makes
And
sense.
when trying to figure out pricing, that's Dream 100. When trying to figure out what market to go into, that's Dream 100. When trying to figure out speaking engagements, Dream 100. It's what camp meetings to attend. It's all like, it makes sense how the foundation of all that, really anything that we do would be Dream 100. And our most successful video on YouTube is the Dream 100.
And Mark,
Our most successful?
Yeah, our most successful video on YouTube is the result of the Dream 100. That's why I
The
got
result of, okay, got it. Okay.
because that's why it became successful. We were
Right.
following these principles.
Right, I understand now. When you say the result, I missed that the first time.
Do you know what video that is?
Yeah, the Little Light Studio.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear the word result, and I'm going, when did you do a video on the Dream 100?
Now the phrase, so watchword, Dream 100 is a watchword,
Right.
and watchwords don't go viral. Those aren't popular. What were you saying, Mom?
well, I was going to say the phrase Dream 100 is kind of like taken from
Chat hopes.
joint ventures, is what they used to be called, like in the 70s and 80s.
I don't know if she'd still hear about that though.
I know they don't use the word joint venture. Now they use Dream 100. They use that word.
I still think they use joint venture.
Well, they use Dream 100 more.
It depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Brother Enoch,
Yes.
can you explain more what is Dream 100?
Yes. So the Dream 100, I'm glad you asked. It is, so this is one of the things that we're going to be focusing on for the month of June. The Dream 100 is a concept where you identify who are the top people in our niche, in our specific topic or area. So what we do is we help young Christians to identify their unique talents and dedicate learned service. So we just ask ourselves, what are the organizations that already exist? Well, hold on. Once we identify who our avatar is, and our avatar is our target audience or our ideal people that we want to reach, and our goal is like youth defined as like 16 to 25, that's like our age range. And so we ask, where is our audience at, and how can we find them? And then once we ask first question, who is our audience or our avatar? Once we find our audience, then we ask the question, where are they congregating? where online or offline, who is gathering these youth together, these Christian youth. There's organizations that are collecting them in different places, online and offline. So the Dream 100 is, rather than just targeting each youth individually one by one, target the influencers who are congregating our audience. And let's befriend 100 of these people, when each person would have access to like 60,000 of our ideal youth and people that we want to help, bless, and encourage and strengthen. So by creating partnerships, relationships, and connections with these very specific ministries and organizations, it will be a lot easier to reach our target audience than if we just try to target the audience without them. And it develops relationships with other ministries that we're going in the same direction, have a similar vision, and we're trying to reach young people for Christ. And the Dream 100 is just, it's a list of those organizations that we can develop relationships with and then share with each other and help each other as we grow. Does that make sense? You're muted. An example of the Dream 100 would be like, for instance, on Instagram. If we befriend people that have like 50,000 followers on Instagram, and they do like a shout out to us in one of their posts, or they share our posts and they tag us, then that would potentially bring a whole bunch of their audience who's never heard of our Instagram, and then they're able to like share their audience, we're able to share ours, and we'll send things back and forth to each other. So Instagram has their own Dream 100, Facebook has their own Dream 100, YouTube channels. It's a Dream 100 of YouTube channels, and for each of these different platforms we have our Dream 100 list tailored for that, and then just developing relationships, how we can work together and grow. Hopefully that makes sense. I can't hear you because you're muted.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Praise the Lord. Okay, well, how about we close with the word of prayer? Carmen, would you like to pray for us?
Father in heaven, Lord, we thank you for helping us to get our objective key results for the month, our monthly actions straightened out, and you're helping us to have specific things, measurable things that we can determine success with. We thank you for that, as well as for what we're learning about the Dream 100. Please help us not only to learn, but to implement, to apply, because we know that knowledge without application, without implementation, is not really useful. So we ask for wisdom on how to apply and for guidance throughout the rest of the day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Praise the Lord. Thanks for joining.